Um, that's something I want to get into because it's something that very few people do. But the people that I do know that have just decided to like uproot their life, leave their hometown or their city, and just move somewhere else are usually interesting people that have done that, maybe with a specific reason or without. But the goal is ultimately to create something a lot bigger than what they have going on now. So I guess if you were talking to somebody else, that didn't know you and they were looking for a change, what would you say kind of pushed you in the direction of saying, it's time for something new? Like, what were you trying to get away from in Montreal, and what were you trying to move towards in Toronto?
That's an awesome question. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I was really trying to like get away from anything in Montreal. Maybe like habits more than anything. Like one of the things that I was really excited for moving here, but also like kind of nervous a bit, is just like I knew that like coming here to work with you and Kendra, like a lot of the weak points in my game, like when I was running Montreal and everything like that, like I did a good job, but like I definitely wasn't perfect. There was definitely weak points in my game, and I know that coming here with you guys, it'll be like shock therapy. Like those weak points will be like super highlighted at the beginning, and I'll be forced to fix them and work on them, and that'll make me better all
You're
around.
talking about in your business?
Yeah. I'm talking about like in like my business, like I don't know how I would word it, like my entrepreneurial skill set, I guess, is like there are some things that I'm very good at, and there are some things that I could definitely be better at, and I find that it's really easy when you're working on a business to like um, always navigate towards those things that you're really good at. Like you just always want to do those things because you're really good at them, and then to just like kind of avoid the things that you're not great at. And
Yeah.
I think that when I'm here and the business is so much bigger and so much more involved, and there's like a lot more pressure on me than just myself. Like now it's like there's other people relying on me to make sure that I do things right. Like those weaknesses will become pronounced, and I will be forced to work on them and strengthen them. And I think that that's will only be good for me in the end. Um, so that's one of the biggest things. And I think one of the other things that you said that I just want to touch on was what would I recommend for somebody who's like looking to like shake things up. And like this is kind of like the second time I've done this. Once I did it for a year, I moved to BC, and I think that like just like where you are, at least like where I was, like West Island, right? Like I grew up in this neighborhood. I had all these friends around me. Like I know all these people. And I just think that there's really something to be said for just taking yourself out of a really familiar environment and just like, even if it's not for that long, like I did it for a year. I went to BC. Like I just took myself out and I put myself somewhere where I knew nobody, and I just to prove to myself that like I will be okay. Like I can do it all again. And by the end of that year, I had built up a group of awesome friends and like a family over there that it was hard. It was just as hard to leave there to come back here as it was at the beginning to leave to go there, you know? So I just think that I can't say enough for like having that experience of just like uprooting your life, going somewhere, throwing yourself into the fire. Like it's kind of what I'm doing again now. I'm just kind of like uprooted my life, moved to Toronto, and I'm just gonna see what I can make for myself out here. You know?
I think that I also moved, not from the West Island, but I moved from Montreal to Toronto.
Yeah.
And then just when I finished university, I didn't know what my next move was, but then as you know, I booked a one-way ticket to South America,
Yeah.
for
How
four
long were How
months,
long were you out there?
about 4 months.
4 months. Yeah.
So I did 5 countries in 4 months,
Yeah.
and I would say that like moving isn't really, for me at least, was never really about like moving for a specific reason. Like obviously I had ideas of why I was moving, but for the most part it was just,
You're talking about when you moved here, or you're talking
yeah,
about
when I moved
okay, yeah,
here, it was really just about being like, I know where I am, and I have a sense of the type of person and the type of life I want to live, but I don't know how I'm going to get there or what exactly I want to do. But what I'm doing now is not working for me in terms of propelling me forward.
yeah.
So if I go somewhere new where I have a totally new environment, it'll almost, it's a lot easier to become a new person and kind of shed that normalcy that you're used to. And it made it a lot easier for me to just get into a new habits, and kind of envision and design that new life that I wanted to live. And even though I was only able to figure that out once I already got to Toronto, it almost just happened so naturally, because I was in a better space to be doing that, and I wasn't just, stuck in my old daily life. So
Yeah.
and you can always move back too.
That's the thing. Like my biggest thing. I don't know where I originally heard this, so I can't give credit to the original person that I heard it from. But
Is it me?
no, I don't think so. I think it might have been Tim Ferriss. Sorry, but
Close enough.
like whenever you're making like a big call, like a big decision in your life like that, I think it's really important to like look at it objectively and be like, if everything that could possibly go wrong went wrong, like what would it take for me to get to where I am now, like to get back to where I am now? You know what I'm saying? Like for a lot of people, like a decision like that is like almost nothing. Like if you were to fail, you'd just be back where you were. So it's like, what's the point of not doing it? It's not like you would have to restart from the bottom. Like you'd be back where you are now. So there's no real risk. Like for me coming out here, the risk was a little bit more because I was, I sold my business in Montreal. And so like if I were to fail here and move back, like I would have to restart from essentially nothing. But I don't know, when I was making the decision to move here, that never really factored in. Like failure didn't even come into my mind like an option.
Burn all your boats.
There you go. Burn all your boats at the shore, and there's only one way forward.